Okay, folks, we are back. Another episode of Street to Strategy. A couple of things up front. Number one, my book is officially out. This book, I put my heart and soul into this. People are already giving me feedback on it. A lot of people are loving it. The emotional toll of the show. You can pick it up on Amazon or Barnes and Noble. Also, when I went on the episode with, I was recently on the Marlon Marache show down in Pasadena. That episode is already at 1,000 views. I am ecstatic over that. Today I have a new guest. Let me give him an introduction. Some lives are shaped by opportunity. Others are forged by adversity, sacrifice, and the split-second decisions that define the line between life and death. Today, we welcome a man whose journey has carried him onto the front lines of some of the most dangerous challenges law enforcement officers face. Born in San Diego and raised with the values of hard work and integrity, he moved to Visalia in 1983, where the seeds of his future were quietly being planted. A graduate of Mount Whitney High School, he excelled both academically and athletically before earning an opportunity to play Division I water polo at Long Beach State University. At first, his path seemed destined for the business world, but fate had different plans. A simple ride-along with a college friend serving with the Long Beach Police Department opened a door he never expected and revealed a calling he could no longer ignore. In 2001, he entered the Tulare, Kings County's Police Academy and began a career dedicated to service. He spent 3 years with the Atascadero Police Department before returning home to serve with the Visalia Police Department for more than 17 years. During that time, he wore many hats: patrol officers, field training officer, SWAT operator for 15 years, narcotics detective, and gang investigator. He pursued criminals, protected neighborhoods, trained future officers, and stood watch over a community he deeply loved. But service often comes at a cost. In 2010, his career placed him in a deadly encounter along Officer Daniel Roberts and Dirk Alfano, facing armed suspects who chose violence over surrender. Through chaos and uncertainty, he stood firm in his commitment he made to protect others. He was forced to take a life in the line of duty. In 2013, during a violent gunfight, he and his partner, Brian Ferrer, were both shot in the line of duty. He was struck 4 times. Despite overwhelming odds, he survived. It was a moment that would test his courage, his faith, and his determination to keep moving forward. In a strange turn of events, he was terminated from the department he had given his blood, sweat, and tears to. Bitterness and betrayal robbed him of his career that he had given so much to. It was a soul-crushing end to his law enforcement career. After leaving law enforcement in 2021, he embraced a new chapter along his wife, Corinne, their kids, and a growing family. Today, he calls Emmett, Idaho home, where he continues serving people in a different way as a successful realtor. His story is not simply about surviving gunfights or wearing a badge. It is about resilience. It is about purpose. It is about answering a calling and standing your ground when darkness arrives and finding the strength to build a meaningful life on the other side of adversity. His journey has brought him to my table. He is a warrior, a survivor, a husband, a father, a man whose life reminds us that courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to keep moving forward despite it. He is one of my favorite people on the planet. This is Adam Collins. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, brother. Wow, that made me feel great and uncomfortable at the same time.
Well, you know what, bro? Your story is such a great story. I mean, dude, if you had lived in Visalia, you would have been one of my first guests. There's no doubt about it. But let's get into it, brother.
Okay.
Well, real fast, I got a gift for you. And so I'm going to give you a copy of this book, but I got to read you this inscription.
Okay.
Adam, may these pages remind you that every challenge carries the seed of growth, every setback holds a lesson, and every step matters. Much love, Jay.
Thank you, brother.
You got it, man.
Awesome.
What lessons from your childhood shaped who you are today?
Man, growing up, I had my parents are fantastic.
Yeah.
And
You guys had like the Brady Bunch going on, right?
we did. I had older brother, older sister, younger sister. So, I mean, everything was family oriented. But my parents were pretty strict. I grew up in a Christian fundamentalist household, and my parents were. I didn't know this at the time, but they were new Christians, so everything was very, biblical about how we were brought up.
Got
And maybe you can guess from our names:
Yeah.
Nicole, Joshua, Adam, and Mary. Right? So, excuse me. But there was, when I think back to my childhood, my parents were fantastic. It was a lot of love. And you and I have talked about the differences in our childhood and how that maybe shaped us in our future.
Big time.
Well, I didn't experience trauma in my childhood at all.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
So, it was a lot of hugs and kisses and I love you, stern punishment, but always a hug and a kiss kind of thing afterwards. So I mean, when I think about my childhood and my parents, I'm like, man, I was so lucky.
Yeah, you got lucked out.
I took it
you
for
got great
granted.
parents, man. Yeah. And I tell you something, man. I respect when I see good parents. I really do, because I come from a war zone, man, and so it's just like guys that had good parents, like even now I hang out with Gino a lot, dude. His mom and dad are awesome, dude. And it's just I wish I would have had that experience. I really do. What do you remember most about moving to Visalia in 1983?
I think the first thing I remember looking out the window and saying to my parents was, man, there's nothing out here. It's just like all dirt. My memories as a very young kid, and at 5 years old, they're limited, right?
Yeah.
But I remember it was all everything was concrete. I mean, I lived in Lemon Grove, I think is what it was called, not Lemon Cove, Lemon Grove.
Okay.
And my world was one tiny cul-de-sac where I rode the three-wheeler, big wheel.
Oh, yeah.
And hung out playing with my, brothers and sisters. That's all I remember. So then I get here, and we lived at 2708 South Conyer, right off of Whitendale.
Oh, yeah.
And most of that at that time was walnut orchards behind us.
Yeah,
So
there wasn't much out there.
I spent my days running around, from Saturday mornings it was cartoons, and then my parents kicked us out of the house, and we were running around the neighborhood playing war. Riding our bikes, going into the walnut orchard, having dirt clod fights. Like, those are my memories as a kid.
Yeah. How did your parents influence your work ethic and values?
My dad, excuse me, my dad was a big proponent in my life as far as leadership and showing us what hard work was.
Yeah.
He rose pretty quickly through the title business in San Diego, and the company that he got promoted through was called Ticor Title at the time, and he was promoted to, I think, like vice president or something like that here in Visalia, so moved the whole family. But all I remember from him is he was wearing a suit and tie every single day, getting up and going to work and coming home in the evenings.
Yeah.
We would eat dinner, and then he'd do it all over again. So I always saw him working.
Well, dude, he had a lot of mouths to feed. You know what I mean?
He did,
And,
yeah.
And I tell you something, man, and I respect his story, because, dude, 4 kids, a wife, that's a lot of responsibility, bro. And man, I mean, but that's what a man does. you know, that's what you're doing now, bro. You have turned into your dad, whether you realize it or not, dude. You know what I mean? You got the Brady Bunch going on now. You know what I mean? And it's just, I think men that take care of their families, I truly respect.
I didn't always do that.
Oh yeah, no, I
didn't
know,
always do that.
I know. We have a way of bucking the system,
Yeah, but to continue with that, my dad, anytime so it was the weekend, right? And the boys would go outside and do like landscaping chores, mowing the lawn, edging, picking weeds. Dude, I was out there at 6 years old, and I don't know if you've ever tried to get a 6-year-old to do those types of chores. I was that same kid. I didn't want to do it. I was crying, but he'd give me a screwdriver because I couldn't do any of the other things, and I'd be picking weeds. I was out there with the boys, my older brother and my dad. So hard work was instilled in me from the very beginning, and responsibilities before fun, all those things.
Yeah. As a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
You know, this is funny. I don't really remember wanting to be anything. I think I was just like, I think I had a little bit of ADHD, and I probably still do a little bit. Yeah. It's a little bit more under control. But, dude, I was just running around, bouncing off walls, annoying the crap out of my parents. One of the things I remember them saying a lot is like, God, you're obnoxious. So, you know, but I've got a couple of those kids now, so I think what goes around comes around.
Oh yeah. What challenges in your early life help prepare you for the future? I don't think there's anything you can compare what happened to you later on in life, but I can honestly say I think you handled a lot of your adversity pretty well comparatively to some other people.
I appreciate that. That might be debatable, but if I think, dude, everything kind of came easy to me.
I can see that.
It did, all the way through high school. I think my first real challenges, physically and mentally, came when I got a scholarship to play Division I water polo, because I became a small fish in a big pond, whereas I was the big fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep clearing my throat. But, you know, I think I just had a very good fundamental upbringing of, you know, good things happening. If there were little things that happened, I was always taught to persevere through them. If it was hard, hey, if you get knocked down, get back up. My dad was always there to, you know, encourage those things and tell me, like, people that quit or give up, they never accomplish anything.
I totally agree. Looking back, what advice would you give your teenage self?
Study more, actually care about school.
Yeah.
I did not care about school at all.
I don't think any of us did.
I love the social aspect of it, but other than that,
yeah,
I did not care for school that much. And when you say academically I was great, I wasn't academically great, but I didn't have to study. I didn't have to do any of those things. I think if I would have studied, I probably could have got straight A's.
Yeah.
I think I graduated high school with like a 3.1 or 3.2. Which is not horrible, but
you beat me by a long shot, dude. I graduated with like a 2-something, but you know, getting my bachelor's and master's, I got a 3.9. You know what I mean? Because I applied myself.
Exactly.
What drew you to water polo?
So it's a funny story. I played soccer, basketball, baseball my younger years, and Jason Firebach, of all people, we became best friends in 5th grade, and we played soccer together. When it came to freshman year in high school, he had a neighbor down the street. His name was Mike True. He played water polo. Well, on a tangent, sadly, he died from cancer, but he recommended Jay go out and play water polo. And Jason didn't want to go alone, so I go, yeah, I'll go with you. and I didn't know anything about it at all. I could swim because we did rec.
Yeah.
You know, Jason and I did rec league when we were younger. And I'm like, okay, cool. You know, it sounds like it might be fun. But we went out in shorts because we're like, we're not wearing those stupid Speedos.
Oh, yeah.
That lasted one practice, dude.
Yeah.
And we just ended up loving it, man. And I never turned back. I think maybe I played one season of high school basketball, and then my water polo coach and swim coach, who were the same people, Mark Wagner, who is amazing, another great leadership figure in my life. He made me choose.
Yeah.
He's like, you either go play basketball or you come play this. It was a no-brainer for me. I loved water polo.
Good for you, man. How did competing at the Division I level shape your mindset? Because that right there, that is, I mean, they're playing for blood at the Division I level at anything.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing like getting your ass kicked by people who are in the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
Because some of these college players were actually in the Olympics. And it's a very humbling experience.
I bet.
And if I didn't have my dad in my ear that freshman year when I went, because we had 2 weeks of Hell Week, and it wasn't like Hell Week in high school. It was from, I think we went from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., hard swimming, calisthenics. I mean, they just beat you to a pulp. And then you come back in the afternoon and you do it again until, I think we did it till 6 o'clock. So it would be like 2 to 6. So you'd basically go home and sleep, eat something, sleep, and then go back. It was 2 weeks of that. And I remember there was a point where it was the first week, maybe third day. Ken Lindgren, he was silver medal coach in the Olympics, 1988 Olympics. So he was an Olympic coach. He was my coach at Long Beach State when I started there.
Okay.
And he stopped me on one of the swim sets we were doing midweek, and he called me out of the pool, and he's like, I just want to tell you, you're never gonna make it here.
Wow.
Yeah. He's like, you're just not good. You're just not good enough, Adam.
Wow.
And at the time, he goes, all right, get back in the pool. I didn't realize that at the time. He was testing me, right? So,
Yeah.
But I was broke in that moment.
I bet you. Devastated.
I was like crying myself while I'm swimming. I mean, it was just one of those moments. And I remember calling my dad at the end of the day and telling him about it. He's like, well, what did you feel about that? Do you think you're good enough? I said, yes, I'm better than half these guys, these new guys. He goes, then you probably are. He's like, do you want to quit? I'm like, no. Then don't quit. Like,
yeah.
you can do this. And I realized later, I mean, it was just a test. He did that to every single one of the new guys at different points during that 2 weeks.
Just see how they'd handle it.
Yeah, and he might have picked on me and saw some weak. I was a skinny kid. I think I graduated high school at 165 pounds or something like that.
I bet you were in phenomenal shape, though. Man.
Well, I mean, you're swimming so much.
Yeah.
You just become adept to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was in pretty good shape.
What did sports teach you about discipline and sacrifice?
It's all about discipline, getting up in the morning. Just getting up to get there is most of it. And if you can keep going, those are the things that, I mean, it wasn't a choice.
Yeah.
One, I was on scholarship, but two, if you can't just no show a practice. I look at some high school teams today, or I'm not going to go to practice. What do you mean you're not going to go to practice? That should never be in your vocabulary. But you're off the team if you do that in D1. People don't think like that in D1 though.
I get
there
that.
are people that quit, but you can kind of see the writing on the wall with those people.
Yeah.
They haven't experienced that type of level of athlete before, that type of hard work. and some of those people they just can't hack it, but you could see it.
I get it. How did the athletics prepare you for a career in law enforcement?
The example that I just gave you about being tested and saying you can't do this,
Yeah.
you're not good enough. Those things never entered my mind when I went to the police academy, and people warned me, "Hey, it's paramilitary, man. They're going to be in your face. They're going to be doing this," and I was expecting a lot worse. And I'm sure if it was full-on military type of training, it would have been worse. But people yelling at me and telling me I wasn't good enough, or
Yeah, you're
I
like,
looked
I've
like
already
crap,
been through this. Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
You know. So, and the physical part of the academy was pretty easy. All those things. And when I focused on schoolwork, I was good. I never missed. Excuse me. I never missed one day. And I remember having food poisoning one day, going in and out of class, coming out of both ends. It was horrible. Fever, all that stuff. I never missed a day of the academy.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, not only did I go to the academy, but I was an RTO, and I used to tell guys, I don't need excuses, bro. Make it happen. Come hell or high water, dude. I need you here. And you're right, man. I mean, dude, the academy, it's a long time, man. Mine was like 19 weeks. Dude, it's a long time to be perfect, man.
19 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. I did 6 months, buddy. But hey, when you think about it, in the career that we go into, is 19 weeks or 6 months, is that enough time?
It's not. It's, you know what? I have, this. I've always said that. The academy teaches you this much
Very
of
much
this
so.
much that you need to know. What separates top performers from everyone else? Let me tell you about someone who isn't just working in real estate. He's redefining what it means to serve. Chase Taylor is not your typical agent. His journey began in 2005 in the heart of California's Central Valley, where he built his business on a simple but powerful belief. The real estate should be rooted in real value, real effort, and real care for people. Now based in Orange County, he has elevated that vision into something rare, because with Chase, the relationship doesn't end when the papers are signed. While others hand over the keys and disappear, he shows up, literally. On closing day, he arrives with a moving crew ready to help carry not just boxes, but the weight of transition. That's not just service, that's commitment you can feel. And now he's coming full circle, expanding back into the Central Valley, bringing the same hands-on approach to the very community where it all began. It's more than business, it's a return to roots, a promise to give back with the same grit and heart that built his name. If you're buying or selling, don't settle for someone who simply opens doors. Choose the agent who walks through them with you, who lifts, carries, and moves with purpose. Call Chase Taylor at 949-702-9106 and tell him that Jay Mac sent you.
Doing the hard stuff that nobody wants to do consistently over and over again.
Big time. Big time. When I was at FTO, I used to tell kids this, or new officers. You know what discipline is? It's doing stuff that you don't want to do.
All the time.
That's what it is, dude. Before policing, you were a headhunter. What did that teach you about people?
That job lasted like 3 months, I believe.
Yeah.
Hated every second of it. I'm on the just to give
Tell
you
us what you really
just to
think,
give you
yeah.
an idea. I would go into this office. There's 5 other guys there. They're all very young, except for one dude who's maybe like 25. And have you ever seen the movie The Boiler Room?
Yes. Yeah.
When I think back of it, it reminded me of that attitude where you got to make the sale, you got to close, and got to do this. I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
One, there was no training. I think they just expected me to know how to do this job, but I was trying to get sales jobs and recruit these people to these other companies or agencies, and they had been in the business for 10, 15, 20 years, and they're talking to a 21-year-old kid.
Yeah.
I had no experience in that whatsoever.
Did you still have the grunge hair? Well, I remember you had the long hair.
I actually did. Yeah, I did. Of course, they couldn't see me on the phone. So,
Did you always see yourself becoming a police officer?
no,
Yeah, me neither. Me neither.
I had no direction, Jay.
Yeah, yeah.
None.
Yeah. Tell us about the ride along that changed your life.
So about 2.5, 3 months into that headhunting job that I had got after college, I was at a bar or a house party. I can't remember exactly, but I saw my friend Mark Steenhausen, Detective Mark Steenhausen, Long Beach Police Department. Now he's a detective sergeant. I haven't talked to him in a few minutes or a few months. He might even be promoted. He's a very, very smart guy. But we played water polo together for a short time, and I hadn't seen him for like a year or two. And he's like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm doing a sales job. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm a police officer, man. He's like, you got to come on a ride along with me on Friday night. I'm like, okay. Went on a ride along with them. We did, of course, we did all the fun stuff. We rolled code 3 several times. I just saw him talking to people and holding himself in such a confident manner. And what I didn't know is he had gone to, after college, he lived in Costa Rica for 6 months. So he was bilingual. And he started talking Spanish to somebody. I'm like, I was just impressed.
Oh, yeah.
Impressed. We did some other fun things, but I remember him talking to me about, hey, like, get behind me. Hey, get out of my light. He was doing these tactical things. And I'm like, this is super cool. I just loved every second of it. And he's like, you should do the Long Beach Police Academy.
Good for you, man.
And they had just started one, and I didn't want to wait. And I didn't want to do that crappy job anymore. So I remember calling my dad, hey, I want to go to the police academy. There's one starting in January. And I had no money. I had no place to live. I said, would you be okay if I came home, lived with you, went to the police academy? He's like, are you sure you want to do this? And I said, yes. So Jason Firebach and I went to the academy together with Brian Ferreira, Chase Taylor.
Yeah, yeah.
Shoot, there's some other names in there I'm probably forgetting, but Jared Whaley.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember this, but I was one of your guys' RTOs.
I tried to forget you.
Yeah. What fears did you have when entering law enforcement?
I don't know that I was smart enough to have any fears yet.
I was the same.
I was as much life as I had experienced with the college experience. It's way different. It's not real life.
Correct.
I thought I was very smart. And the reality is that's not real life. College is not real life. Getting into this field, I knew what they told me about how serious it was, and I listened. But to get out there and experience is something completely different.
It's a whole different ball
I
game.
didn't have that fear yet. I just didn't have it.
Yeah. What does serving others mean to you today?
Man, today, it's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything. I think I've even told you this before, but in any business you go into, you can serve the people that you bring value to, but you have to truly believe and want to be of service to those people. And that takes being selfless and really caring about their outcome. What do they want from this, from your service, your business, or whatever it might be? And if you don't do that, I don't think you can be successful in the long run. And I've learned that because I've been selfish.
Yeah.
And I have thought only about what's better for me in this business, whatever it might be. That even goes law enforcement. I did landscaping at one point. But real estate, if you're getting into it to make money, it's the wrong reason.
Yeah.
Because this business is so awesome to see people to accomplish their goals, getting my house or selling their house. They're ecstatic.
Oh yeah.
At the end of this transaction, it's amazing. But if you don't really care about them, you're not going to be successful.
What was the toughest lesson you learned in the police academy?
Oh, you're making me think way back then, dude.
And if you don't remember, don't sweat it. We can move on.
Best
Yeah.
lesson. I can think of a funny story.
Yeah.
I remember it was when we started, it was January. And I remember we were doing the drill in the morning.
Yeah.
I was freezing my ass off, dude. And it was Breckenridge from Tulare PD that was doing the instruction. And I brought these little hand warmers and I held them by my side. And I was like, oh, this is nice. And I remember him kind of looking at me like this. And then he walked up to me and goes, hey, man, what the fuck is that in your hand? I'm like, they're hand warmers, sir. And
I'm sure that didn't go over well.
It did not go over well at all. But I don't know why that popped right in my mind. But I mean, the academy is great. It's structured. You have to be early or you're not on time. All the things, right? There's probably 1,000 things.
There's some good lessons.
There's great lessons.
But the problem is, it's make believe. It ain't the real.
Is.
Yeah. What surprised you most about real police work?
I think how people lived.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Remember, we came up different.
Yeah.
So
walking into some ghetto fab houses or ghetto fab apartments.
Walking into some of these houses, I was blown away. How did people live? Like there was a lot of judgment on my side, right? Because I grew up in a very nice neighborhood with great parents who made good money. It was very different for me to experience that and
going into houses that are like roach infested.
Crazy. And watching, well, the thing that was crazy is watching a little baby crawl around on just disgusting roach-ridden floors. And then in my mind thinking, cool, this is a CPS case. Coming to find out that is not a CPS case.
It's not.
That's sad and scary to me.
No,
that there's people out there like that.
No, it is. Man, it's like I always tell people, new cops that had never seen this stuff. I mean, people would be like, how do they do that? And I'm like, dude, these people are they're just getting by, bro. You know what I mean? What mistakes early in your career taught you the most? Because every cop has that first.
There's so many.
I was going to say, those first couple years, we're all just trying to take it all in, but we've all made dumb decisions.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. I'm like going through my file folder of stupid stuff that I've done. I remember. So, as young as I was, again, you're a 21-year-old kid or 22-year-old kid out on the street. Now you're handling these scenarios that are no longer fake, domestic violence.
Yeah.
Domestic
Dangerous
violence.
stuff.
Yeah. So I would be talking to, one of the spouses and I could see him looking at me like a 40-year-old man who's had that life experience is now letting a 22-year-old kid tell him how it should be and this is what we're going to do. The reality of that is nuts, but I didn't see it as a kid. So I had to learn how to communicate better and understand the context of the situation and who I was in that. And that took me a long time.
Yeah.
And that's just one scenario, but that happens in a lot of scenarios based on your age or experience in the matter. So I think if you can understand and recognize that, it helped.
What made you return to Visalia, and how was serving your hometown different from Atascadero?
I never thought I would come back to Visalia originally. And this was another Jason Feuerbach thing. He called me and said, dude, they are hiring a bunch of people. I think it was like 20 people in 2 years or something like that. I was the very first induction of that with Gino Garcia, Brian Ferreira, and Dustin Thompson. 169, 170, 171, and 172. And I wanted to go to a bigger department that was busier, where I knew stuff was going to happen, because I had been policing in a bedroom community of 28,000 people.
Yeah, Atascadero's pretty chill.
If you drive by their sign today, the population says 28,000 people. That's over 25 years ago. So it's small and kept small for a reason. They like it small.
Yeah. It's almost got that rural feel to it, though, too.
It is.
Yeah,
it's technically a mountain town because you drive down to get to Morro Bay, Pismo, and all those things. But yeah, it was very slow most of the time. There were times working graveyard where you had to just get on the radio to make sure it wasn't broken, because it would be silent all night, no calls.
Oh yeah.
But we had fun there. I had some great FTOs. I mean, amazing FTOs. Bob Mole, Franco Bashara, Joe Allen. These guys will always be with me in teaching me these things. Fantastic. So I learned a lot there. And if we didn't just sit idly by and sleep in a car if there was nothing going on, we made stuff happen. We do scenario training, and everybody loved police work. So I got a great base there.
No, awesome. What lessons can only be learned on patrol?
What lessons can only be learned on patrol? That's a good one. I think maybe the lessons of, this could be learned, I guess, other words, but I think for the word patience continues to pop up in my head. Thinking quick on your feet. Patrol is a different animal than anything else.
It is.
And if you can't be good at all aspects of patrol, you shouldn't be moving into another unit at all.
I totally agree.
So it teaches you everything about the job in a variety of different situations. And Visalia PD is a fantastic place for that, because you get everything.
I agree.
I didn't get that at Atascadero.
Yeah.
So eventually you will handle just about everything at Visalia PD. And if you're on patrol long enough, you will. So, patrol is just a teacher of men.
I don't
know if that really answers your question. But.
It does, but that's a great quote, because it is a teacher of men. What separates a great police officer from an average one?
The ability to process information at a very high rate and make good, quick decisions.
Damn right. I totally agree. I agree.
Integrity, all the other things that go along with that, to me, those go without saying. But man, if you can see somebody process a scene or a situation and assess something and then make a decision, Brian Winter, the absolute king of this. If you want to, when I look at like mentors and stuff, like Brian Winter was so good at that.
Yeah.
So smart. I looked up to him a lot. And
I still do to this day.
Absolutely. I haven't talked to him in many, many years, but he's an integral part of my law enforcement career and how I came up. I wanted to follow him and Ron Epp around to every shift they had when they were sergeants. You just wanted to be around them.
Yeah. Good men, good leaders, cared about their cops. You know, I was just talking to Tim Haskell, another one, dude, just a stud. I mean, just, you know, so good at his job and just wanted to treat people well. You know,
Timmy's a good guy.
And I just think it's becoming a lost art, I think, in law enforcement. And, you know, I told Tim, I said, I think you should go teach a class to new supervisors on how to treat people because I think we're losing that, bro. I really feel that. How did you balance toughness with compassion on the job?
Not very well early in my career.
Yeah, I struggled with it too.
And I'll explain. I think I was too compassionate and empathetic early on in my career and not tough enough. And then later that kind of reversed and I was almost too tough on the outside and not empathetic or caring enough for people. And you have to have almost like the perfect balance for this job.
I struggled, man, because my early career, I was too tough. You know, I think the YSO stuff made me become a little bit more compassionate. What calls or experiences, and not the two we're going to talk about, stayed with you long after the shift ended?
The one that immediately comes to mind is a traffic accident at, gosh, let's see if I can even remember the streets here in Visalia. Acres and Hurley.
Okay.
Acres and Hurley involving, I want to say it was a Toyota 4Runner with a moonroof. And the 1.5 and 2-year-old child seat was not strapped in. And
horrible.
Yeah. I mean, shit like that never leaves you.
Both deceased, the children?
It was just one.
One child
kid.
was deceased.
To be honest, I don't remember if there was other. I know there was adults and other people in the car, but that's what stuck with me. I don't really think of the other one. I just remember the dad, you know, being beside himself.
Oh yeah,
and those, man,
stuff like that. I know, and you know, people see us on these calls, and people don't realize it, dude. That this stuff just sticks with us, man. And, you know, I always say this, trauma has a way of going right through you, but when it does, it always leaves something. And it's a lot of times it's just not good, bro. After years in patrol, SWAT, gangs, narcs, what did those experiences teach you about criminals? Because I don't think people really understand how predatory a lot of these criminals truly are.
I learned that there are some human beings throughout that, sprinkled in with some very evil, evil people.
Big time.
I mean, people say, well, there's always a piece of good, maybe at one point in that person's life, but when they've gone over to pure evil, that's the thing that I think that the general public doesn't really get, or a more liberal thinking person is there's good in everybody. There's not good in everybody.
No, you know what, man? I mean, you know, me and you both worked units where we were the shiny tip of the spear going after the worst people. People shooting people, killing people, selling drugs, sex trafficking, all that. Dude, there's people like me and you where we got to use our gifts to go after people like that. But it's hard when you're a sheepdog because sheepdogs look like wolves, and it's hard for us not to become wolves sometimes.
Very true.
You know, I always say this, to do what we do, sometimes we got to be monsters, but we got to choose not to do monstrous things. That can become a very hard
That line can get blurred
Yeah.
and does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
I want to transition real fast. So 2010, you're involved in the shooting.
2012.
It was 12. Okay, so 2012, you're involved in the shooting with Dirk and
Daniel Roberts.
Daniel. Take us back to that day. How did it begin?
It was a cold and dreary night. There had been some gang activity, some shootings, a murder or something. I don't remember I know who tells the story really well is Daniel and Dirk. They like remember so much detail that I don't. I just remember that we were out looking for some type of retaliation to happen.
And you and Dirk are in a blacked out unit?
Yeah, we're in our gang unit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was driving? I forgot to ask that.
Shoot. Who was on the radio? Dirk was on the radio, so I was driving.
Okay, you were driving.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish it was reversed.
Got it.
Because he's a better driver and I'm way better on the radio. Sorry, Dirk.
So you guys pick up this vehicle, and let me ask that. What first caught your attention about that suspect vehicle?
Let's see. Driving on one of those northeast streets in the hood very slowly. 5 people packed into a car where they're like this.
Almost the guns hanging out the window.
So, and that night in particular, it was dead.
Yeah.
It was dead.
Yeah.
Nothing was going on. I want to say it was like 11:30. So we wrap up at 12. In fact, I think we stayed out as long as possible because usually we head to the barn at 11:30.
Yeah.
You know, even sometimes a little bit earlier just to wind down to get our paperwork done. We stayed out because it's kind of stupid to say because when you hear it, but you could just feel that there was something going to be happening in those days post those shootings. So when we saw that car, I don't think we said anything to each other. I flipped around on it, and it ran I can't remember if it ran a stop sign or a light. I think it was a stop sign, and it started going towards. Is it Locust that goes towards the freeway, or I can't remember? Okay.
Yeah, southbound Locust.
Yeah, so we went southbound Locust, and
real fast. What type of car was it? I forgot.
I can't remember. You'll have to go to Daniel's
Okay.
podcast for that.
All right.
I remember it being kind of like a Ford
Either a Honda Accord, either it's a Honda Accord or 80s old Cutlass.
That's kind of what it reminded me of, but it was like a 90s version of that, tan or gold or something like that. But we lit it up and it was on.
Got it.
Jumped on the freeway and we were off to the races.
What went through your mind when the driver started to evade you? Because I don't know about you, but I used to get like really pumped and I'd be like, all right, man, here we go. You know what I mean? You're already, you kind of got to get yourself in a mindset because you talk about processing info. A pursuit is processing 1,000 bits of information because you got lights that, the suspects are punching through the lights. We can't do that. You're trying to put out direction and plates and speeds. And I mean, there's a lot going on, bro. Yes.
So for me, the cool thing about writing X-ray.
Yeah, because Dirk can do that, and you can just concentrate on the driving.
I don't have to worry about anything, and he's an extra set of eyes for me while I'm driving.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you kind of get this adrenaline rush, but when you're a few years into it and you feel confident in your abilities, you start to get that calm feeling with it.
Yeah.
So I felt like we even get more focused.
Oh yeah, you have to get really focused. I mean, I don't know about you, but yeah, it just goes to a tunnel because you really, man. I mean, pursuits are dangerous. They're dangerous to the public. They're dangerous for us. They're dangerous to the suspects.
Yes, and they were rolling 100 plus, blacked out, up and off the freeway, getting back on it.
How dangerous was the pursuit on the highway? Because, yeah, if they're punching 100 miles an hour, that's danger, man.
There wasn't many vehicles out at the
Yeah,
time.
because at
it was
midnight,
11:30,
limited traffic.
right?
Yeah.
So I've been in worse ones, let's say that.
Yeah.
But we definitely were not stopping. I think the sergeant was Russ Gauger at the time. And he immediately started asking, "Where's CHP?" And I was thinking to myself, he is not going to cancel us on this. Like, this is perfect. We're okay. But I mean, I get it now, thinking from a supervisor's standpoint, blacking out their lights on the freeway 100 miles an hour. It's pretty rough.
Yeah.
But we were hunters at the time. So, I mean, we really were meat eaters, and we wanted to go eat. So
I get it.
It was dangerous, but not the worst thing I've ever been in.
Yeah. At what point did you realize this was becoming a big deal? Especially when they jumped that overpass right there on Plaza. That must have been like
that. When they hit that overpass at like 100 miles an hour, I was like, oh boy, okay. This is getting pretty hairy. I don't know how much longer it's going to last, but I think they did. They went into Goshen and tried to negotiate that one turn, and it just did not happen. And Dirk, Daniel, and I have talked about that. We all we saw the same thing, but I thought when that car flipped over and rolled and the dust was everywhere, I thought to myself, oh my God, they're going to be dead. We're in so much trouble. But we were running to the car to assist them, and then that changed in a heartbeat. So,
did you think the pursuit would end after the crash?
Yes.
Yeah, because
in that
everybody always
immediate moment.
Yeah. You already think, all right, it's over, right? Here's something that a lot of people don't realize, because Goshen is a very small town. It's kind of got this rural feel. It's off grid almost. What was it like chasing that vehicle into Goshen? Because that's not our area, and it can get a little hairy in there.
I wasn't overly thrilled that it was getting off on that exit.
Yeah.
Because I don't know it as well as TCSO, and I know there was enough time on board for other units, and TCSO always monitored our channel, so I'm sure somebody was coming.
Yeah.
So I think we would have figured it out, but I definitely like being in my own backyard.
Big time, and I've been in pursuits in Goshen, man, and you're right. We don't know those streets. I mean, literally, you're driving down a street and you're having to look at the street sign to figure out where you're at.
If there was a street sign to begin with.
Yeah, and a lot of those streets don't have it. When you saw that vehicle lose control and flip over,
yeah, dude.
What was going through your mind, dude?
My mind was, oh shit.
Yeah. Because I mean, that's a pretty hairy thing to be chasing a car, and now you see the wheels upside down and the vehicle. Yeah,
absolutely.
How much could you actually see as you were approaching? Because I remember Daniel talked about how this dust is in the air. Did it blanket it out, or could you guys?
To me, when I think of it, it almost reminds me of a Hollywood movie, just where you couldn't see anything, even though that's not true. So the dust was everywhere. In sight was limited, but you could see the car, and then you could see people getting out of it.
Got it. When did you realize shots were being fired at you?
When I heard bullets going by my head. So
you know what? What's funny? It's like, I've been there, and I tell people this. When you hear this, you hear this zing.
Yeah, it was it's a zip.
And I tell people this. It's a shitty feeling. It's a horrible feeling, because think about it. If it's close enough to whiz by your ear, what if it's over 3 inches and now it's hitting you square in the face, right?
And you wouldn't know any better because
it would just be over.
Right.
Yeah. What was your immediate reaction? And, Daniel said this, when you said they're shooting at us, I mean, he said that
I think the quote is, "Oh shit, they're
shooting at us." Yeah.
I never knew that I said that.
Yeah, yeah.
He told me afterwards. I'm like, I did. I just remember coming up and going to work.
guns. Yeah. How did your training take over in that moment? Because I know this, you're not even thinking. It becomes an automatic. It's an automatic response. I don't know about you. I didn't think when I was in those situations. I was like, let's get it. Let's get after it, man.
I didn't either, and I'll tell you about it. Visalia PD's training is awesome.
It is awesome.
Seriously amazing. The fact that I didn't remember that I immediately started moving. I can't remember if it was right or left. My guess is because I feel comfortable even. I don't like going to the right and shooting, so I was moving left laterally and shooting at the same time. I did a mag change, didn't even remember.
Yeah.
So I thought I shot, I think I told them, yeah, maybe 6 or 7 rounds, 8 rounds. They're like, you did a mag change. So
Yeah.
I shot 13 times.
I never asked that. Daniel couldn't remember. How many did Dirk fire?
He's told me this. We've talked about it so many times, but it's been a long time. I don't remember exactly.
But he's cranking off rounds. So you got to think.
He did. Yeah. His were more focused. I think he shot quite a bit less. And he was a little bit close. My guy was the furthest one away.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, I mean, we were all focused on different suspects,
Correct.
Which is wild when you think about it.
Yeah.
There's 5 people getting out of the car. What are the odds that we each focus on a separate suspect?
Yeah, because you would think it's really easy, especially the closest guy who's firing. All 3 guys could be firing at that one dude. What role did your partners play during that gunfight?
They played the role that they were supposed to.
Damn
and I
right.
didn't even have to think about it. Dirk, best partner a guy could ever
Stud.
want.
Total stud cop, dude.
You never had to worry about anything, safety-wise, tactics. He was the best. And we became really close throughout that 4 years that I was in there. He's one of the best cops that I know. Was one of my best friends, and we're still friends. I just live in Idaho, and he lives here. And he's still working. I think he's still in the gang unit, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he is too, dude.
There's no better person to be in that position. He's great. So I never had to worry about what he was doing. I knew he would do the right thing always.
Yeah.
Daniel was a stud. We had been on patrol together. I knew that if he was coming as my backup, I never had to worry about anything either, especially if we needed to take somebody into custody, if there was somebody aggressive. He was the best person to have back me up.
Well, I said this on his episode. All 3 of you guys, man, you guys are meat eaters, man. You guys are the shiny tip of the spear, man. You guys are out there doing the police work that a lot of cops don't want to do. And you guys are out there doing it, and doing it at a very high level.
Remember, we came up after your guys' unit, though, so we always had a standard that was set for us because GSU or SEU or whatever it was called over the years, there was definitely a legacy to uphold.
Oh, damn right.
And everybody gets into that unit and thinks they're going to do better than the person before them, or want to do that at least. But we had you, Nate, Luma, Dwight, Vimo, all these guys that did these high profile cases, were chased, same thing as us, wild pursuits, getting in fights with people with guns. You guys set the stage for that.
I appreciate that. How quickly did the situation unfold from the first shot to the last shot? Because a lot of people don't realize it's over so quickly.
So
now, but it feels like an extended period of time because this time fractures, everything slows down, And, but if you really think about it, it's over and done in this. And
Very, very quickly. Excuse me. The
probably 20 seconds. If that's
no,
probably a long time.
way shorter.
Yeah, 10 seconds.
Way shorter. So from beginning to finish, I believe was probably like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
If that. And I remember it was still very chaotic and the dust was settling, so to speak, no pun intended. The people, we had a pretty good perimeter to start with. I thought, so the guy that I was focused on, I'll tell you about, yes, time slowed down for me big time.
Because he was the guy that was running towards the building, right?
He was
Yeah.
off to the right of the vehicle. But what I noticed was when he turned and I saw a flash. That's how I remember it. And I don't know if it's been, X amount of years and you start to think of it differently. It's probably, but that's what I see. And I remember his head being like this big, like a huge beach ball.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous, but that's what I was focused on. And it slowed down where I had a sight picture where I could actually see the tip of my sight and a big beach ball.
Yeah.
So, but when I fired, it disappeared, and I thought, he got away. So I even put out on the radio, and I wish I had that audio, but I remember he went around the building. He's gone. Well, the reason he went out of sight is he just dropped. I hit him in the back of the head.
Yeah, you had a headshot, yeah. What do you remember most about returning fire? I don't know about you, but for me, I just remember thinking I couldn't even hear my gun going off. And you know what?
On that shooting?
Yeah.
Me neither. I couldn't. I didn't hear my own shots.
Yeah, and you know what? And it's wild if you think about it, man, because we're used to shooting with earmuffs on, and now we're not. And dude, I remember my first couple rounds, I thought, dude, is my gun malfunctioning? So did you ever think that like something's off? I can't hear my gun.
No, because I could see my slide going back.
Okay,
like this.
Yeah. Yeah, and in real life, that thing is going.
You can't see it.
What was going through your mind as the guy that you engaged, as he's running from that vehicle? What do you remember thinking? I mean,
my immediate thought, and I think most of the time, and most of the guys that I worked with in the gang unit was, "We're gonna get you. You run, we're gonna get you.
You ain't getting away."
Right.
Yeah, especially after you cranked off rounds at us. Yeah. Here's one that I don't think a lot of people think about. How do you make life and death decisions in a matter of seconds?
A lot of it is training.
Correct.
And when I say training, it's not just the department training. It's not what somebody teaches you. I trained my mind all the time. And this actually started in water polo too. We had at one time a sports psychologist visit, and they told us, hey, just, close your eyes and picture yourself.
Visualize
scoring a goal or blocking a shot or doing this and do that. Visualize yourself winning. And then one of my favorite FTOs of all time, Bill Brokoff, we would do scenario training when I was an FTO. He knew I was lateral. We had a lot of fun together, but it was, and we did this at Tascadero PD too, but it was, hey, we're sitting drinking coffee. What are you going to do if somebody comes in with a gun and shoots here or comes in the back door? So we were always thinking about that kind of stuff. So I would routinely think, okay, if I get to this, especially if it was a nothing call, if I get to this call and somebody comes out the side yard where he thinks I'm not expecting it, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I thought about that stuff all the time. And it becomes somewhat unhealthy because it takes a toll on you over time. But I think those are the types of, you have to train yourself to be thinking about these scenarios as they happen.
100%. Well, why do you think when we're in restaurants, we never sit with our back to the door? Because you know what? When we're in uniform, I was like you. I'm sitting there, you know what I'm thinking? All right, if some guy comes in, all right, this is going to be my avenue of escape. When I return fire, I'm going to make sure there's no people back there or their vehicles. Do all the stuff is going through our head when we're just trying to eat a sandwich, dude.
Yeah.
When the shooting stopped, what was the first thing you did?
I wanted to make sure Daniel and Dirk were okay.
Yeah, make sure they weren't hit.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I think we were like, "You good? You good?" And then it's like an excitement of like, "Holy moly, did that just happen?" And then you have a lot of different emotions going on. I was kind of pissed off.
Oh yeah, because you were shot at.
Yeah. So almost like, how dare you? How dare
damn
you?
right, damn right.
But the adrenaline is very high at that.
I don't think it's.
end of that.
I don't think it's any higher. I think that right there is the epitome.
I had one more incident where it was a little bit
Well,
higher.
yeah. Well, we're going to get to that here in a second. What emotions hit you once you realized people had been killed? Because that's a heavy thing to take on. However, they were shooting at you, so there's a lot to process. But
Yeah, people may not like this, and it sounds callous, but I had no feeling of sympathy or empathy.
no way, man. They were trying to kill you.
Yes.
You know?
So, however, we had, fortunately, everybody's a team, and our police department training is good. They made their effort to save the lives of the people that were there on scene. It cracks me up because Daniel Ford.
Yeah, did he jump up like some
He
medical
had like a
bag or
bamboo
something?
bag, and I remember like standing over the guy, and he's got a hole in the back of his head. Like,
He ain't coming back.
I'm pretty sure he's done.
He's done.
So
Yeah.
but like I said, everybody was doing their job. Visalia PD is so professional.
Yeah.
What a professional organization.
I agree.
And you know, I haven't always thought that, and a lot of that was on me. But we can get to that later.
we're going to unpack that. How did the investigation affect you personally?
Of that shooting, or
Yeah, just that one.
it gave me it showed me a lot about what officers go through when they get in a shooting, because technically you've committed a homicide.
Correct.
And you're going to be investigated for that. So to go through, and I had been told, hey, this is what's going to happen. You have to be read your rights, which is a trip.
It is a trip.
As a police officer.
It's scary.
Yeah, even though you know you're in the right, you did what was right in the situation. For people trying to kill you, you just shot back and defended yourself and your partners and the public. But there's just something in it, because we had said it every day of our career to anybody that we arrested and spoke to. It didn't feel right.
Yeah, it is. It's a trip. How did this incident change the way you viewed police work?
I think it finally hit home that it can happen to any one of us, and there's nothing we can do about it, and you never know when it's going to be. So going your whole career without, those days of when those old timers would tell you, well, I pulled my gun just a couple times in my career, that's never going to be the case.
Dude, I had days, man, where I drew down on 5 to 7, 10 people a day.
In the gang unit?
Oh, yeah.
All the time?
Yeah.
But yeah, it just became like, it became more real. Like even though it had been, 11 years at that point. So I was, what I thought to be, 1/3 through my career, just about. It was definitely a realization that Visalia was becoming a much bigger city, and there were things that could happen anytime.
Gotcha. Looking back today, what stands out most about that day?
For me, it was the camaraderie between myself, Dirk, Daniel Roberts, Josh Pena, Shane Logan. These guys, like, the gang unit was super tight. I mean, you know how it is.
It is tight.
When they got there, like, those guys' main concern is us. And if it was reversed, it would be us worrying about them.
Damn
so that, to me, like, the love that we had for each other and how close those incidents make you as a unit, that's the thing I remember the most. I would say.
Which is good.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to transition to the day you were shot. All right. Take us back to the start of that day. What started that situation? I don't even think I've ever asked you that.
Well, it was like 1:30 in the afternoon, something like that. We had just had a late lunch and finished, and we were just doing our normal gang unit rounds. There was no focus at all. So we were in Holiday Homes, and
Where Daniel grew up.
which is funny. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? You grew up here? He's like, yeah, I grew up down the street. I'm like, okay. But, so we always made our passes in Holiday Homes.
Yeah, target-rich environment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there was just a lot of gang activity on a frequent basis. But we saw a car, and the thing I think that keyed us in on them is usually normal people, they kind of give you a little bit of a glance here and there. Both these guys were like,
oh, yeah. Yeah.
stiff as a board. I'm like, okay.
If we don't move, you won't see us.
Yeah. So we flip around on it, and it kind of speeds up and takes a turn onto Stover. No, I'm sorry, not Stover. Kane very quickly, and pulls up into a drive. I'm like, okay, I'll just get out and go talk to the guy. The driver starts walking towards the front door like he's going to go inside or knock. And then when I get out and say, hey, what's up, man? He takes off the opposite direction, hops a fence, and he's gone. Fortunately, it was a weekday. We had everybody and their brother out working, all the detective units, and T-Rat was out working that day. So we were fortunate enough to have people already in the area, coincidentally. So the perimeter was set pretty quickly, and but nothing was happening before that.
What made the suspect that particular suspect a priority for you and Brian?
Well, that would be skipping forward.
Okay.
I don't know that it was. I mean, every suspect who runs is like it's a pride thing.
It is a priority. Yeah, there is a pride.
Yeah.
What was your plan when you approached the house that the suspect had ran into? Because we always think, and I know I've done it. I know you have too.
Yeah.
We've both just ran into houses.
Yeah.
Which is,
if you want, I brought the audio. We can kind of go through it, and I think it might jog my memory as to what we were doing at the time.
Let's play.
You want to do that?
Yeah, let's
Give me
do
a
it.
second,
Yeah.
and we'll fire this thing up.
So, folks, we're actually going to play the actual traffic, the radio traffic of the day that Adam was shot. And then go ahead and tilt that mic down so it can hear it.
Well,
Yeah, we'll just play it. There's Dirk.
Westbound 1225 North King.
So as I was approaching the suspect who was going up to the front door, he bolted. I kind of ran after him, and Dirk gave a quick shout out. I'll just kind of go through it one at a time.
107. He's running southbound over fences.
For me, Copy southbound over fences. Do you have a description?
He's running towards Douglas.
Copy towards Douglas. Do you have a description?
Hispanic male, red shorts, dark shirt.
Copy Hispanic male, red shirt, dark shorts.
So something I found this and I started listening to it. It's been a long time, and I realized Christina, you remember Christina, the
Yeah.
dispatcher, she's the one that handled this. So pay attention to her voice now, and then just kind of take note of it as it keeps going.
30.
I don't want 56 in the area.
So Jared Whaley
Okay.
and Vimo.
Yeah.
And Vimo's the best on the radio.
107 copy plate. 5, Robert, King Sam, 324.
Confirming last three are 324.
Affirm.
10-4. Break Adam 36 by 7.
Right.
10-22. Confirm your 23 with 107.
Hey, get on Stover. Get on Stover. Copy. I'm there now.
So what I was saying is Vimo has always been the best on the radio. He's
Very chill.
Sounds like you guys are just sitting there having coffee. You know? I love Vimo.
And it's coming out.
We're on Stover. Hey, because Stover, he's back to the backyard. Northbound to the backyard? Third house north of Douglas. 10-4.
Copy third residence north of Douglas.
.156 is on the perimeter on Keys. Am I good right here, Jared? Affirmative, he's in the backyards over here. Just make sure we have Stover covered.
So this is just us,
There's
you
3
know,
of us on Stover
Yeah.
side.
for the public, you know,
You got
listening to
these
this.
two streets. They both run north and south. Yes.
That's affirmed. We have the other one in custody.
So
Copy white shirt, plaid boxer shorts, Hispanic male, mustache goatee.
The house that he ran into, was it his house?
no,
He didn't even know
he
these
wasn't.
people?
He's from Delano.
Okay.
He was from Delano. And just a little background as we continue, he thought he was wanted for a shooting that he had done in the previous weeks or month or something like that.
That nobody even knew about.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
So
How did you?
He was, we lost him in the third house north of Douglas and Stover.
Third house north of Douglas and Silver.
1030 north Stover.
3610-4.
East side of the street.
mhm.
Yep.
you were asking something.
How? My question was, how did you guys get into the house? Front door, back door, side door.
So I will say before we went into the house, he had broken into another house next door or 2 doors down. I can't remember exactly where it is, but there was a young mother with her baby, and she came out to do laundry in the garage because that's where the laundry was. And he was crouched down by the back door in the laundry, and he was holding a gun. She ran out the front door, started yelling. Well, they talked to her. She failed to mention, and no fault of hers. There's a guy out there with a gun in her garage. She failed to mention that he had a gun.
Got it.
So would things have transpired a little bit differently after that? Probably.
Yeah.
33 Southwest.
Now you got Curtis there.
Yep.
I say 107, what's the play come back to?
Comes back clear and current 06 1092 Andrea Perez out of Farmersville.
Information he's ditched some shoes in one of these backyards over here. And let's start a yard to yard down here where
That's
where from? In the fourth house now. Fourth house backyard, October.
So he was in the third. Now he jumps to the fourth.
Copy fourth house northbound of Stover.
can't remember. I think it was Ken is his name from CHP. He was on T-Rat.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, great guy. Gosh, I can't remember his last name right now.
Before you start the next one,
Yeah.
as you go into the house, so did you guys go in through the garage, or how'd you get into that house?
So to give it context, we went in through the back door. However, contact had already been made by another team.
Got it.
And they had gone through the house. Brian Ferrera was part of that team that went into the house and did a search, a consent search from the owner. He said that there was a locked bedroom. And then when they asked, hey, what's up with this? He's like, oh, no, it's my locked bedroom door. Nobody's in there. So they took it at his word. And they came back out. Well, I met Brian in that same backyard, and he goes, hey, that bedroom door, we were looking through the window, and he goes, that bedroom door was locked earlier, and now it's not. And the guy, the owner, had been standing outside the whole time. Who unlocked it?
Correct.
So that's kind of where Brian and I just went, okay, well, let's go check it real quick. Probably should have put some more thought into that.
When you go into the house, what was the atmosphere like?
Dark, all lights were off.
Yeah.
We found out later there was kind of a flop house. There was two girls in the back bedroom, which shared a wall, actually shared a closet with the room that we eventually got into the shooting with.
Got it.
So, but yeah, it was just dark, and I mean, it's that side of town.
Yeah,
I didn't know too much about it, but.
161, stay on King. T-Rat on Silver. When you saw me, is he north of me or is he south of me in the backyard? We lost him right at the 1050 right there. This is the last spot we lost him. Between here and 1030.
Copy between 1050 and 1030 North Stover.
The T-Rat unit, if you can get this dog, make contact and get this dog inside. Where'd you go? We're 3 residences north of you from Kane. 169, 136. Where's the last place you saw that? 10-9. Where's the last place you saw him? Where you just came over? The last unit who saw him was at on Silver. He was in the backyard moving northbound in between Kane and Silver. I think it was like 1050, something like that. Who was that last unit there by his way down north? The 1306, the suspect was hiding inside at 1030 with a family. He ran right back to us, and we lost him at 1050.
So we had an idea that we believed that he was hidden on one of two one of two properties,
Got it.
but weren't sure.
He did be right here. He probably went into one of these houses again. Nobody's coming to the door on these up here to gain access and put their dogs away. 10-4, there's an open back screen door. Is it the tan residence or the blue residence? Check the tan residence. Where is that?
Real fast.
Yeah, go for it.
When did you realize the suspect was inside that house? Not until the shooting started, or?
When I stop, I'll get into the specifics of it.
Okay.
But it's I think it's just a couple more here. So to give it context, the next one I think you hear is of me, Vimo, and somebody, the T-Rat unit. We go check the house that he had been hiding in with the family. So.
Vice 107 X-ray.
7 X-ray.
Correction, 169, 36, and a T-Rat unit will be making entry into an open back door at 1050, where he was last seen. North Stover.
So this was, I believe, 2 doors down, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
219, 132, where you at?
We cleared that. Nothing was there.
Okay.
In the two houses south of where we were at. You. You guys making all that noise back there? We're climbing up onto a shed.
By this time, there has been about 15, almost 20 minutes that went by, and there's a ton of cops there.
Got it.
6720. Correction, 67169. 151, 155.
You can hear the shooting right there.
KU 21, I'm not getting through.
Okay.
So I'm going to play it again, but listen at the very beginning.
151, 155.
I think.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
I'm not getting through.
Sorry, I might be wrong with that one. Hold on.
Unit to Victoria. Confirming shots fired.
1199.
Last unit advised location.
I've been hit. Lieutenant, just come over here and get me.
Copy
Lieutenant, come over here and get me.
Reached over north of Douglas 169.
1199. Go 3 ambulance now.
Free medical.
We need officers over here help.
Mary 169.
Cody the channel. Start fire an ambulance. And units on scene, if we can self-evacuate, do it now.
Thanks, ideal. Units channel 1 code 8, channel 1 code 8.
Where are they? I need 3 ambulances now. I'm going to be at
Copy 3 ambulances needed.
11 Bay North Silver.
Re-advise numbers on Stover.
What's going on with your mind, man? What are you thinking?
I get emotional, man, because it takes me back. And you just think, man, this is the hard part of the gang, man. It's the toughest part of the job. And I love you, and to hear it, I don't think I've ever heard it, and I think it takes me back. And how did you locate that closet?
So yeah, I'll back up. So Brian and I decided to go in there. We searched a couple rooms, and we ended up finding ourselves in that dark bedroom. And there's really not that much in the bedroom, not even a bed, I don't believe. But the closet was a slide closet and jam-packed with clothes. And then from the ground up, there was like boxes and just piles of clothes. And I think even at one time, as I had my weapon out, I even put my arm in there and kind of went like that, like, is he hiding in the back? And I didn't feel anything. Well, what I didn't know is I went right over him. He was crouched like this, and I went right over him. And when I came back out, I must have moved a piece of clothing, and I could see a portion of skin. And I told Brian, I'm like, he's right here. So we kind of backed up and like, hey, let me see your hands. Let me see your freaking hands. Nothing, just still. And I told Brian, I go, I'm going to get him. So I holstered. I'm standing in the middle of the room. The door is over there. Brian is at the doorway. And when I closed the distance and tried to grab for his arm, I was thinking, okay, it's got to be over here somewhere. It was just a boom and a flash and pressure, like the heaviest pressure, like getting hit with a sledgehammer.
You know what? In fact, I was going to jump to this. This is, what do you remember about that first shot fired? I mean, I'm sure it's so much to process at that time, but, and then how close were you to him as he's fired? I mean, are we talking 3 feet, 2 feet? Oh,
no,
dude, so
he
you're
shot
right
me.
on top of him.
He shot me at point blank range.
You're actually lucky. You're lucky to be alive, bro. You're lucky you didn't take one to the face. Or
I don't know this, total speculation, but I think I closed the distance without him knowing. I think he was probably pointing up here.
Yeah.
And I closed the distance, and the first shot just filleted the inside of my arm right here. And later, point blank shot, I was bruised from my wrist all the way up because of the pressure and the hit. But it backed me, it spun me and backed me up into the room, and I was like, oh shit. Then there was another shot. Brian got shot.
Where I forgot, where did Brian get hit?
Shot like deep into the shoulder that went that way.
Got it.
I mean, he's got a huge scar. But he was right by the door, and he was able to, I mean, it basically like pushed him out. And I was stuck right there in the middle of the room, and I remember trying to grab my gun, and my arm would not work. My arm wouldn't work.
Here's a question that I'm sure everybody wants to know. What did it feel like being shot? Adrenaline kicks in.
Yeah, so this is the crazy thing, and I will say again, simunitions training. Remember what it feels like to get hit
it
with
doesn't feel good at all.
Doesn't feel good. So I liked, after that shooting, I never went to one of those trainings. I just wore a long sleeve regular shirt, no padding, no sweatshirt, no nothing, because if I got hit, I wanted to feel it, because that fear helps you make better decisions.
It does.
I'm sorry, but I've got no respect for people that show up in 2 sweatshirts and 2 pairs of pants. And like, I get it. You got to wear your eye protection. You got to wear ear protection, all that stuff. But if you want to do yourself a favor and have some real life experience,
make it as real as possible.
Make it as real as possible. You said it right there.
Yeah.
Because that's the memory for me of getting hit. Now, I will say this. I didn't get getting shot 4 times, I was lucky that I didn't get shot in a place that was vital.
Yeah.
No arteries, no.
Yeah,
no,
think about it. You could have took one to the chest. Did you have body armor on? I forgot to ask that.
I did. So the second shot, but anyways, it felt like simunitions. It didn't really hurt per se, but when he spun me around, I couldn't fire back. He shot me again, and I can't remember if it was. I don't remember which one it was, but I got hit in this arm. It went through and through. Didn't hit a bone.
So relatively from getting shot, you actually got lucky in a lot of ways.
Man, God saved me, dude.
Yeah.
God saved me.
Yeah.
I didn't believe that at the time. But I finally was like, okay, he is trying to kill me, and if I couldn't escape. I needed to fight back, so I was finally able to get my gun out, and when I started to return fire, I shot. We were just in a shootout from about me to you.
Dude, that's hardcore, bro.
Yeah. So
hardcore.
I realized later that he had hit me right dead center in the chest plate, and even with the metal at that close range, when they tore everything off, I had a indention cut into my chest.
I bet. I believe it.
At some point, I got the tip of my thumb got shot off. I don't know how that happened, but my guess is I put up my hand or something like that. But when I came up to fire, and I thought I fired 3 or 4 rounds, I think I fired 6. And I know I was hitting him because you could hear him screaming. And I think when I played the next one, you can actually hear him. Or I played all the way through, right? So in that first one, you can hear the That's probably both of us.
Yeah.
I remember screaming, and I know I was hitting him because he was screaming.
Go
and
ahead.
he got hit 6 times.
How did he live, dude? I don't know. Yeah.
I never had a sight picture, and people always ask me, well, like, okay, how was this different from your first shooting? This one, I saw no detail at all. Yes, it was dark in there, but I could see Brian. I could make out his features, all those things. I had no sight picture. I had nothing. My memory of it, and even at the time, it was just darkness. It was like, just darkness. That's it. So I never knew who or what I was shooting at. And then I remember afterwards thinking, oh, wait a minute, man, those girls were laying down on the other side of that wall. I was hoping that.
Yeah, they weren't getting hit.
Yeah. And, but yeah, when I came back up to fire, he shot me again through the armpit. That one went all the way through, lodged, and broke my scapula. So, but it never knocked me down. You know, people always say, well, did it knock you down? No, it didn't knock me down. I was able to walk out of there.
Did Brian get to return fire? I forgot to ask that.
No.
Okay.
It pushed him out, and he couldn't see anything because the way it was done, the guy was hidden by a wall. So it was just a barrage of gunfire between him and I.
Yeah. I will tell you this, man, before you play this next part, man, this just affected me in a way I wasn't prepared for, man. But I can tell you this, man, we all had a ton of respect for you. And this right here, bro, is the essence of the worst part of police work. So for me to you, you know, I love you, man. You're a stud, man.
Oh, man,
But,
you're one of my best friends. I love you. And I never thought I would ever say that because I did not like you.
I didn't like you either, man. You know what I mean? But go ahead, man. Let's finish it up.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, something I want to really point out here is because she doesn't get enough credit is Christina.
Oh, yeah. She was awesome, dude. I mean, think about this. You got 20 cops trying to talk on the radio. She's trying to basically make all this make sense.
Yeah.
And I honestly, and it probably, God bless her for even having to go through that, because that's a lot to put on a dispatcher, dude.
We still talk, and this this affects her.
It
still.
should, yeah,
And,
yeah. But she was awesome.
She was awesome. You can hear the worry in her voice, and then staying professional throughout the whole thing. Still,
she
commendable,
is
awesome,
a utmost top-notch
Yeah.
professional.
Let's see, where were we at?
So now you said, somebody come get me. I heard you say,
said
LT, come get me.
So I love, man, Pewter.
Yeah.
On a tangent. I remember when he came in the unit and people were like, "Oh man, Pewter's coming in. He's gonna
Yeah,
because
because he was a real stickler about the rules.
He was the best
Got it.
lieutenant we ever had.
Got it.
Smart, helped us with search warrants, and just a funny, nice, great guy. And
He does have a good heart.
he still had the administrative mind, and I thought, there's no way this guy's going to be able to connect with us, and he did. He connected with that unit very well. I will tell a funny story, and some people have heard this or not. When I got into the car, he was pretty rattled.
Yeah, for the
Understandably.
folks at home, a lieutenant drove Adam from the scene, from being shot, to the hospital. We will do that because it takes too long for the ambulance to get there, load you up, then take it, when we could just get you to the hospital immediately. So good on him to think that.
Yeah, he was right there, and I remember he was the first person I saw. Were there other cops probably right there too? But for some reason, I saw him and I focused on him, and I'm like, he's gonna get me there. And he ran over there. I just jumped in the car, and we took off, going really fast. I think he turned on the siren, but and we were going. But I remember at one point, we got onto Mineral King, going towards the hospital.
Yeah.
And we got stuck in traffic. And I'm like,
Kick on the lights.
I go,
dude.
let's go to the lights. And it had probably been a long time since he had turned on a road
he
code
didn't know
3.
how to do it.
And I had to do it for him. And I'm bleeding all over the place. And now I'm a little worried. I'm like, okay, this is a lot of blood, and I'm starting to feel a little bit weak and faint.
Yeah.
But he gets us to the hospital, and I remember getting out of the car and starting to walk, and it was an adrenaline dump for me, and I felt awful, and the pain just went boom.
Were you starting to feel like you were going to lose consciousness?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's scary,
Well, it scared me for two reasons. Like, okay, have I lost a lot of blood, and how bad is it? So. But anyway, okay.
Lincoln 5510-4. Are you able to advise the numbers on North Stover?
1108 Silver, 1108.
Copy 1108 North Stover.
So by that time, Brian had made it to the front yard. And a funny story he tells me is Mona is running up, and I'm sorry, Mona. It was a frantic situation, but it's really funny, the story. She goes, "Are you all right?" And he goes, "Fuck no, I just got shot." And he goes, she just looked at me and then ran past me. So, I mean, this is a situation where people are flipping out, and rightfully so. Like, the things I've done now is I think about Christina. Like, I think about, like, what was she thinking? I'm thinking about what Dirk was thinking after I said that. And I know that was really hard for him to not be there when that happened. But I think about all the people that heard that, know me, and were going there like that. That means something.
Oh, yeah.
It means a lot.
Well, dude, I mean, when one of us is shot, it's a big deal.
Yes.
It's a huge deal. And, here's something I always wanted to know. Looking back, how did that incident change you personally and professionally?
A lot. That's gonna be a long one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we could unpack it.
Let me I think are we good with this? I think
Yeah,
they just got me to the hospital. And,
yeah, you
okay,
got you to the hospital.
Okay.
The big deal is I'm glad that people get to hear this because think about how chaotic. You got 20 cops all trying to talk at one time. Everyone's talking over each other. A lot of the radio traffic gets gets stepped on by somebody else. But dude, phenomenal job, and I mean, good on you, brother. Let's just talk about this, the aftermath. Let's talk about the aftermath.
Okay.
So the aftermath. How long are you off work?
8.5 months.
Okay.
8.5 months, and I remember even people coming to the hospital and like some of my friends like kissing me on the face and stuff, and I was just like, man, this is the most surreal thing ever. It almost felt like a dream, because they rushed me into surgery and get like the bullet fragments out and whatnot, and I just remember being in a haze for 3 days in the hospital. But people came in and I had friends come and stay with me. I want to say it was Nate at the time, Shane Logan, and I feel like I'm
This
missing
just
somebody.
it
but
affected everybody because guess what,
does.
bro? You know what? You know this, man. 1 second too early, 1 second too late. It could have been anybody else. And you know what, brother, man? I mean, we weren't friends at the time, but even I felt sorry for you. I was like, oh man, he got shot. That sucks. But I just remember listening to that radio traffic that day, dude. It was out of control, dude.
It was. And a memory that I have, which is awesome. I remember when I'll tell you a funny story before that. So I'm in the hospital. They're cutting off my pants. I have, is it Kathy? Dang, she was a nurse back then. I'm going blank on her name.
Oh yeah,
blonde.
yeah. She was like one of the charge nurses. Yeah. Kathy Carlson. Yes.
The young one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we go in and out of the hospital all the time, and they're cutting off my clothes and they're sticking their fingers in my arm and doing all this stuff, and it's chaotic. And I remember the ER doc at one point just yelling, "Shut up," to everybody, and I was like, man, this is nuts. There's so many people around my table. So they figured that stuff out, and then I hear screaming catty corner from me, literally less than 6 feet away, and it's the suspect. He's just on the other side of the curtain. And I was thinking to myself, it pissed me off, man, that he was right there at the time. But you got to do what you got to do, right, as a hospital. But when they wheeled me to emergency surgery, the halls were lined with cops and deputies, and I remember my parents were there. Like it was wild.
Dude.
And when I think about it, I just I haven't thought about it in a long time.
Yeah.
It's hard to even explain like the emotions that you're feeling at that time, but
yeah, you're
anyway.
happy you're alive. You're pissed that you got shot. You're scared going into surgery. Dude, I know that you had to go through kind of a dark phase afterwards. Do you want to go down that road? You want to talk about any of that?
Yeah, I think it's really important.
Go ahead.
Well, the only thing about PTSD that I knew and understood was from what I watched in the movies, maybe what they talk about in books, and they kind of tell you, hey, you might have these symptoms and these problems, but it was always, I always thought it's never really going to happen to me.
Everybody never does. Nobody ever thinks it.
I thought, well, I think I've reached a point in my career where obviously that doesn't bother guys like me and guys like Dirk and guys like you. Like that we're above that. And I learned very quickly that you're not. I mean, I would say for the first few months, waking up, sweating and scared and reliving that happens quite a bit. Like that's real. That's kind of what you get from movies and people telling you. But there's all these other, things that happen to you that you don't understand. You start processing. Your brain almost gets rewired.
Yeah. I don't know about you, man, but acid could drip from my tongue sometimes, dude. And and that's not good because, our families didn't sign up for this shit.
Right.
We did. And I remember, I remember seeing you one time when you came back and I just looked at you and, man, I was like, hey, sorry, brother. And we were talking, but you just seemed, you weren't the happy-go-lucky Adam anymore. You seemed very serious. You seemed like you were in a bad mood. And years later, I didn't realize, but you were dealing with addiction, PTSD, all these other things are coming down on you.
They sent me home with a bottle of like 120 Vicodin or whatever pain pills.
Yeah.
And he said, and this is what I remember. It's probably not what he said. When you're in pain, take it. It's probably what you should do is take what's prescribed to you, right? But I was always in pain. So it was morning, noon, and night, waking up, going to bed. And that becomes horrible. You actually start to feel worse in pain as it goes on. And I didn't realize what was happening at the time.
Yeah.
I just knew that I wasn't physically feeling good at all based on the gunshot wounds. I was going to wound care, weekly, a couple times a week, to get all the pus and all the nasty stuff. But it was, I just thought to myself, I'm like, am I going to physically be able to come back from this? I never thought to myself, am I going to mentally be able to come back from this? Because it wasn't a question. I was a cop. My identity was
a
cop.
all wrapped into that.
So I remember there are a few people that are like, man, you can medically retire now. And I remember getting pissed at the cops who would say that to me. Like, what are you talking about? That's never going to happen.
In hindsight, do you wish you had?
Oh, yeah, man. I would have become a real estate agent back in 2014.
You know what's so funny, though? And I don't know if you've thought this, but I realize now all my experience, all my training, all my education, once me and you became friends, I became kind of like a mentor to you. And dude, I realize now that was something that just listening to you, giving you we would go to breakfast and talk, bro. I miss those days, bro. But I was glad I got to help you, even if it was just a small way, bro. Man. And it really, man, you come into my unit and me and you kind of taking you under my wing per se. Dude, I think it was therapeutic for me. I think it was therapeutic for you, It
was definitely not a friendship that I thought, because you and I are very different. We have very different upbringings and different approaches to life. But man, it worked, and I never thought it would. And when I got fired and a lot of people turned their back on me that I had been working with and been friends with for a long time. And any man can say that doesn't bother me. Man, it bothered me a lot.
Big time.
Bothered me a lot. And you always stood by me. Even if you disagreed with something that I did, you never were super judgmental about it. But you did call me on the carpet for a few things. And I look back at that and appreciate that. I will say that through that whole experience of getting shot and throughout the years, I was my own worst enemy because I didn't know how to help myself. And I didn't want to, because I'm not messed up. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
That's what those two words, I'm fine. I want to transition to that real quick. How did it feel to lose your career after everything you had given to this job, bro? Because you have given more to this career than most. So that right there had to be just a gut punch, man.
It was awful.
Oh, 100%, man.
And I didn't realize how much I wrapped up who I was into being a police officer. And man, what a lie, what a falsehood that really is if you grow, mature, and become what you're supposed to be. And I wouldn't be able to do that if it weren't for Jesus Christ in my life. And that is the only thing that saves me, because you can't truly know yourself. You can't truly love yourself and then love your neighbor. Like, it's just not possible to have that true love and service for another human being. And
one thing I've said to other cops that are going through that is I've said this job, but if you really think about life in general, has a real way of humbling us down.
oh man,
And here's something I wanted to know. What do you think the termination did to you emotionally and personally?
devastated me. And I don't know how much I can talk about it. I'm just going to talk about my own. I'm
Yeah,
not going to
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about, because I actually love Visalia PD.
I know you do.
And it's a professional organization. And I think that law enforcement in general can do a better job of helping guys like me, or people like cops that have gone through very traumatic incidents in their life. I don't know what the answer is completely to help with that, but
I've
it
said
is-
this.
it's a
I
meat-
think we should have a psychologist full time at the PD, dude.
yes,
I think it would help.
I've been asked that question, but my thought is that in what capacity are people going to? How are people going to feel like about that? Because go back to when we were in the gang unit, and now you have a psychologist in the building, or that maybe even go out in the field here and there. How are you going to feel about them
Yeah.
being over your shoulder or even on scene? Is it going to be something like where they're there on a consistent basis and you start to trust them more? I don't think that's how cops see it.
No, I think a lot of guys would be very wary of it. Do you feel the department handled your situation fairly, and why or why not?
I'm not gonna answer that because we went through litigation.
Got it.
I'll say this: Visalia PD is a professional organization. We each had our own things that I think if you asked from the top down to who handled my situation, I bet they might have some different answers as to,
Yeah.
hey, I wish we would have done this. I wish we would have done that. We didn't know this. Well, they didn't know that because I didn't say anything for years. I was in therapy and counseling for years that I told nobody about.
Got it.
Because I didn't want to tell anybody about it, because in our culture, if I go tell,
It's not celebrated. It's looked down upon.
absolutely,
Yeah.
and on the outside, you might go, oh, man, that's totally okay. It's all right. But I'm telling you from personal experience, when somebody gave us a little chink in the armor, I thought to myself, okay, just keep that in mind. They're not who they used to be. In fact, they might be slowly deteriorating. They might even go say that to somebody else. Like, I did not want that at all.
Got it.
And I think if you run at a certain level and a standard for a long time, then that's how you think.
I agree.
So I was afraid of being ostracized.
No, I 100%. How did your sense of betrayal show up in the months that followed? Because I know me and you spoke about it, and I know there were some people that were integral of you getting in trouble. Did you feel betrayed?
Yeah, at the time I for sure did, because I've been here so long. But again, this is
Yeah, we're not going to name folks, but I know that me and you, just in general, the sense of people you thought were brothers, and it comes out later on that it's not like that.
right. Well, I wish it would have happened differently. I'll say that
100%.
But it's difficult to talk about in a sense that because I have, and Jay, like I said, I spent a lot of time being very upset and bitter and angry. That stuff weighs on you when you're putting blame on somebody else for your own emotions, and that's what I was doing. When I let that go and I prayed about it, and I literally asked God to just take that. I don't want to feel that way. Take that away from me. And it's been so different. Like I don't even think about it anymore, except for that you're asking me that question.
I'm gonna tell you what, you look happier, bro. Honestly,
I'm so happy
and I
now.
can feel it.
Yeah.
I want to transition real fast. Okay, we're gonna transition to a lightning round, and we're gonna go quick.
Wait a minute. Let me take a drink then.
Yeah,
Okay. Hit me.
coffee or energy drinks,
Coffee.
beach or mountains,
Ooh, beach.
Visalia or Idaho.
Idaho.
Okay, water polo or SWAT.
Water polo.
All right, sunrise or sunset.
Ooh. Dang, man. I have to say it fast. Sunrise set.
Okay, favorite movie of all time.
That's really tough, man.
Mine's Heat.
I do love Heat. Can you give me a genre so I can narrow it down?
Right. Drama. Or how about favorite cop movie?
Ooh, that's tough. I'm gonna say, what's the one with Jake Gyllenhaal and even though it's wildly not tactical and it's kind of for show. They're partners, LAPD.
Oh, End of Watch.
End of Watch.
Yeah.
And I like that because of kind of what I went through, and I always thought like
I think that as far as realism, I think that's about the closest thing to a real cop situation you can get into is End of Watch.
Yeah,
that movie is
some
fun.
of it for sure.
Favorite book?
Ooh, The Emotional Toll of the Show. The Bible, man.
Okay. Most used phrase during your police career?
What a clusterfuck.
Yep. Biggest pet peeve?
Oh, shoot. Judgmental Christians.
Okay. Favorite comfort food?
Favorite comfort food? I guess it changes from time to time. I'm going to say tomato soup and grilled cheese.
All right. If you weren't a cop, what would you have been?
Real estate agent.
Okay.
I guess, yeah, it makes sense.
Most memorable arrest?
Man. Child abuse.
Yeah.
Got to arrest the dad.
Yeah. Those are always, I would say, rewarding, where it feels like we're really doing what we're supposed to be doing, protecting kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's sad and satisfying, and it's just like a multitude of emotions that shouldn't be together but are.
Got it. Best piece of advice you ever received?
I always think of my dad, and I guess I'd be paraphrasing him, but nobody can tell you that you couldn't do anything. You never quit, never ever quit on something that you want to make happen, to be successful.
That's actually good. That's good advice, bro.
But that sort of mentality was always said to me in one way or phrase or another.
Love it. Worst haircut you ever had?
Bowl cut 90s, maybe?
Okay. One word your family would use to describe you?
I don't know.
Okay. One word your SWAT teammates would use to describe you. You're always pretty reliable. I would think
I
that
don't
would
know.
be one of them in
I
there.
don't know. You still got me stuck on the family thing.
Okay.
I don't really think about what
Okay.
the police officers that I used to work with think about me.
Love it.
I don't think about it.
Most valuable lesson from sports.
Oh, it's never over till it's over, man.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Damn right. Favorite vacation spot.
Anywhere with Corinne.
Got it. Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Biggest fear you've overcome.
Really stepping into my faith and who I am.
Love it. Toughest mental challenge you've faced.
I would say
Getting
shot and everything that accumulated and happened because of that.
Got it.
It was a catalyst to something that needed to happen to me, and it was a lot of work.
I know
that
you've been through the crucible, bro.
I procrastinated and didn't work on myself when I knew I needed to, and you have a way of being humbled to make sure that happens.
Favorite music artist or band?
That's tough, man. We listen to so many good musicians. What have I been listening to a lot lately? Let's see. Ella Langley, probably because Ivy.
Okay.
She just loves
Okay.
girl songs. So we listen to a lot of country music and Ella Langley.
See, I'm a Depeche Mode guy, man.
Of course you are. I thought it was gonna be Flock of Seagulls.
Yeah. Most inspirational person in your life?
Wow.
Corinne, maybe? You know?
She's up there, man. For her to stand by me. I will say this. People might think that the worst of it was the years following. The worst of it was when she was with me.
Got it.
She has seen the worst of me.
Yeah.
The absolute worst. And she has been through a lot herself. And we both always had faith and believed. But in the last couple years, for me, the last 6 months has been incredible.
Good for you, brother.
But her and I have been on this spiritual journey together, and to go through that together, she's amazing. It's Jesus, her, my family. That's it.
Favorite family tradition?
I think dressing up for Christmas, Corinne gets us all matching pajamas.
Okay.
And we all wear matching pajamas all day and hang out, watch TV, open presents. We're just all together, and it's kind of silly, but I never liked stuff like that. But
That's
now
a
I'm
great
kinda look forward to
tradition,
it.
though,
Yeah.
man. What motivates you today?
Motivate. I think I am pushed and motivated by wanting to be better. Like, I want to be better, me. It's not something or someone. I want to be better than I was yesterday. I never used to think like that. In fact, Jay, I hated myself. Man, I hated myself. I just didn't realize it.
Yeah.
And when you're like that, you become a victim and blame, and you start living your life, and it becomes miserable.
Correct. Favorite thing about Idaho?
I was going to say it's not California, but it's it's got everything. Southwest Idaho, where I live, I wake up every morning to beautiful views. In fact, I remember the first morning we bought it. It looks like an Airbnb. We're like, oh, we're living in an Airbnb, and it's like that every morning. The cool thing is the skyline and the view changes daily. It's never the same. So our sunrises, our sunsets, on rainy days with dark cloud. I mean, it's amazing, but it's a bunch of like-minded people living in an area. And I'm not saying it's a sounding board, but it's just a beautiful, conservative, safe place to live.
Love it.
And there's only 2 million people in the whole state.
Love it. Most underrated quality in a police officer?
Ooh, underrated. Give me a second. Underrated quality. Empathy.
Yeah. What makes a great leader?
The ability to listen to the people that you are leading, but also make the best decision for everybody in a manner that that they think is also best, but you make them believe it's coming from them.
Love it. What makes a great partner?
The ability to forgive quickly.
If you could have dinner with anyone, living or dead, who would it be?
Jesus Christ.
What's one thing people misunderstand about law enforcement?
I think this has got to be answered by everybody almost the same. We are just like you. We have hearts and minds and emotions and families, and we hurt the same as you. We get our feelings hurt the same as you. We're human too.
Love it. What's one thing people misunderstand about PTSD?
That we're not crazy.
Yeah.
And that, it's funny, just because you are, you have a disability retirement and it's PTSD or stress, that people are like, well, they shouldn't have a gun. Why not?
Yeah, I totally agree.
That makes zero sense to me. Unless they're suicidal on a 24/7 basis.
Yeah.
I think people have a very large misunderstanding of what PTSD is and what it does to everybody. And it's different with everybody. And I'll just say, for me, it was like a roller coaster ride. There would be
good days and bad.
weeks, and months where I was great. And then there would be days, weeks, and months where I didn't leave the house. And nobody knows that.
Yeah.
Nobody knows that kind of stuff.
What are you most grateful for?
That I know I'm saying a lot of faith stuff, but that I know I'm saved.
Got it. What's the best decision you've ever made?
Marrying my wife.
Good man. What legacy do you hope to leave behind?
I hope that my children, after years and years of staying a family and becoming close, that they miss me and love me when they think about me. But I want them to have a fulfilled, the legacy I have is that I want my kids to have a fulfilled life. Not happy. I think happiness is a dream.
Correct.
I think that you need to go through struggles, and it's how we handle that. I want my kids to be resilient. They're not victims. I want them to grow and mature into great adults that give back to their community and then pass that on to their kids.
Love it. What does courage mean in one sentence?
when you're afraid to do something, do it anyway.
Damn right. Damn right. Last question. Fill in the blank. The most important thing I've learned in life is...
How to have self-control.
Yeah, dude. That's actually that's well said. Got a quote for you. When we look back on your life, we don't see a straight line. We see moments, some quiet, some chaotic, some that changed everything in a single breath. Your life has taught us that nothing is promised and everything has to be earned. Life has a way of interrupting our plans with something bigger than ambition. One ride along changed everything. In that moment, you didn't see a profession, you saw a calling. And then came the moments that test what a person is made of. Being shot in the line of duty and taking a life and death situation has stripped everything down to what matters most. Your breath, your partners, your will to survive, and the people waiting for you to come home. You carried those experiences forward, not just as a weight, but as a perspective. No matter how broken, how tired, or how uncertain, we find that even in the darkest chapters can lead us to the light we never expected to see. I love you, brother.
I love you too, Jay. And what? I know there's a lot of naysayers out there, man. They don't know what they're talking about. That's completely on them, and something's going on with them. If they are going to speak negatively about this, there's nothing. This is so great, and I'm honored that you had me on here. It feels better that I was able to talk on this and talk about this.
Obviously you'd have lived here. You'd have been one of my first guests, man, but from me to you, brother, I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of the struggles. I'm proud of the wars that you fought behind the scenes that nobody else gets to see. I love the fact that you're thriving. You're doing well in Idaho. I wish you and your family nothing but the best. You're a good man. You're a good person, brother. You ever need anything from me, anytime, any place, anywhere, you know that, brother. I love you. I love Corinne. I love what you're doing. I hope one day, somewhere down the road, I want to have you back on, because the problem with you, I think we could talk for 5 hours. You know what I mean? But we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Again, it was just a true honor, bro. I hold you in such high regard. I hold your friendship in such high regard. Like we said, I never saw that coming. But you coming to my unit and us becoming friends has become such a positive thing. So with that, folks, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Next week, I'll have a new guest. Obviously let other people know. I want this Street to Strategy family to keep growing and getting bigger. And please, if you can, pick up a copy of my book. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. And again, see you next week. And I'll leave you with the quote I always leave you with. Good luck, God bless, and Godspeed. See you next time.